works, Jackdaw sort of works, and it contains some data for all of Europe, so that if anyone goes in, they will find something about their area, and they will find that, yeah, we are not, this tool is capable of knowing something about a place. But what it knows presently is not enough to do very many things. It's enough to sort of create this initial trust. So our challenge now going forward is to fill up this with as much information as possible, and to make that information available as tools. So as these days have passed on, we sort of converged with a lot of discussions here on using MCP, Model Context Protocol, as sort of an interface between all the different data sources and what we're doing here. And then we also said, okay, we need, in addition to that, we need one more level. We need some capacity for people who don't have their own servers, who don't have their own data and so on. Well, they have their own data, but they don't have their own servers, they don't have their own infrastructure and so on. They should also be able to publish data, because if we say that MCP is that's the entry point, then we are cutting out really a lot of potential data sources and potentially some of our pilots. So we sat down and tried to draw up what could that be. So we have two sources of data. Maybe we should have three, because many of you have been working on RAGs and document-oriented stores here now. But we focused a little bit on the spatial aspect. So we said, okay, we have raster data, we have vector data. We need to be able, first of all, if we're going to let people who don't have their own infrastructure do something with this data, we need first, the simplest challenge, we need to move them from wherever they are to a server. So for that, we set up a fast API endpoint that accepts upload of data that has two different routes, one for upload of vector data, one for upload of raster data. And we used a tool that many of you will
Till now the screen is not working yet.
Oh, that's not so good. In my mind I was sharing, and also according to my computer I'm sharing. Maybe see if I switch back.
Windows programs.
What do you have on this thing of yours? Do you run Linux? Oh, but it doesn't seem to do a lot. I plug and unplug and replug. Yeah, okay, that looks better. Plug problem, perhaps. So we created just an endpoint like this that has the endpoint to upload data. They upload data into schemas in a PostgreSQL database where we installed pgvector, and so when I upload a file, it ends up as a table that is indexed in the system. So this one now we set currently a limit for 20 megabytes. We can set this to something else. I don't know. We just need to find some way to prevent people from trying to upload megabyte data, because we haven't implemented any queuing or anything like that yet. But that at the other end of the upload, we will have the data on the server, and we will also have a unified API to access them. So Postgres raster defines a number of methods that we can use. Postgres vector defines a number of methods we can use. So that means that now the data are on the server. The next challenge then is to allow people to write methods to access these data. So we have created then a little framework, because presently the tools are mixed with the code in Jackdaw, and it's becoming a quite big lump of things. So if I allow everyone to commit code to that, chances that something goes wrong is like 50-50, and that's a little bit too high. So then we thought, okay, maybe the good solution would be to create this API so that every tool, because ultimately in this MCP universe everything is a function, just a simple pure Python function. So if we create now an architecture where all the tools exist as individual files that live on their own, then if I allow you to go and add your own 3, 4, 5 files, you don't need to mess with all the other ones. So the chances of something going wrong should be less. So then we set up a Python API for this that runs this upload service plus it runs an MCP endpoint. So I'm going to connect to this MCP endpoint. Start this. Okay, it was already started perhaps. Sorry about that, I just didn't see the right things here. Okay. Then we set up an MCP endpoint that we can access like this. Very successful so far, I should say. I think I have locked accidentally my port 80. 1 second.